Horseman here. Today I'm bringing to you yet another Torchlight 3 build guide. This time I decided to go the way of the Sharpshooter. And more importantly, I went with the almost pure pet build. And unlike other pet builds, and I'm not going to say that other people aren't doing the same thing, but what I am doing is I'm playing really to my play style because I love pet builds. And this one really took it to a whole new level. And what I mean by that, you're just going to have to stick around and see. Okay. So, what I ended up doing, because this is a pet build, I really wanted to make sure that I focused damage on pets, and because they're going to be the ones doing the most damage. I will have a caveat here and say that this was a bit more difficult to get to 60 than it was my Railmaster, because not because the damage isn't there, not because of anything else, but because of one particular ability that needs some rework, and I have communicated this on a few different occasions, and that is Ghost Visage, which is basically the Sharpshooter's movement ability. Right now, it works in a way that makes it very difficult, especially when your entire screen is filled with bad guys. Under normal circumstances, I just teleport. No big deal, right? But if I were to move my cursor away from the range of it, she walks and then teleports. So why is this a problem? If you're surrounded, the clipping that is in place will prevent you from being able to get to the point to where you can actually teleport. And let's face it, when you're frantically trying to teleport out of somewhere due to potential one-shots or two-shots, you don't have time to say, oh, let's see, is my mouse cursor exactly within the range that I need to teleport out of there safely? It doesn't always happen. Another option is to hold down the shift button, where you will teleport maximum distance away. The problem with that is, once again, when you're kind of in that frantic, it's like a controlled chaos. You know what you're doing, you know what you need to do, but there are times that your fingers kind of, don't move quite as fast as your brain. And let's face it, if I am also holding down shift to attack so I don't move anywhere, and then I want to hit that shift button, I could accidentally shoot, and then I have to wait for the animation to be over before I teleport out of there. So what actually needs to happen? Why is this a problem? Again, because it is very easy for the Sharpshooter to die. And I'm not going to say that this build in particular kind of adds to that, but what I am saying is that the Sharpshooter is meant to deal a good amount of damage and is a glass cannon, and therefore she dies, pretty easily. And the rework that we're trying to get is that rather than having to hold down the shift button to teleport somewhere, what we want to be able to do is just hit the button to activate it, and it automatically does the max distance teleport wherever our mouse cursor is, unless we're within range where we only want to go this far as opposed to farther. So again, that has been the biggest reason for why it's been so difficult to level the Sharpshooter. Okay, so now that that is over with, you'll notice that I have a one-handed sword and shield for a ranged character. And yes, it is true, but there's a reason for it. And the reason for that, and before I get into the skills, I want to talk about my gear. And that's because the gear is going to be very important to the build itself. So the gear that I have is a Bone Razor. The Bone Razor's passive is that when I cast Arachnid Assault, summon 3 skeletal warriors for 20 seconds, and it empowers Bone Blocker, which is going to be the shield. Bone Blocker, when I cast Arachnid Assault, summons 3 skeleton knights for 20 seconds, but with the Bone Razor equipped, I'm going to cast a 4th. Okay? So that's that right there. That combination alone is going to give me 4 skeleton it's going to give me 3 skeleton knights and 4 skeleton archers. Okay? And also have 3 skeleton warriors. 3 skeleton warriors, 3 skeleton knights, and 4 skeleton archers. Unless I'm reading this wrong, and all I get is the 4 skeleton archers. You know what? I haven't actually counted. I could do that. Here. I'll let this do its thing, and we'll go from there. All right. So then what else do I got? I've got the Musketeer Cavalier hat, which is going to give me +1 skill to my precision skills, and then having at least 3 pieces of the Musketeer set will give me an additional precision skill. But I will also get +2 points with the set to my adventurer skills. So 2 for precision, 2 for adventurer. This will come in very handy. For my Musketeer gloves, upon using Arachnid Assault, I'm going to summon an Ancient Spirit of the famed archer Herman, who will cast Tight Grouping for a certain period of time, and with the Musketeer set will be a second one. So, are you counting? We've got quite a few already, and that's just 3 pieces of equipment. The idea, and I don't have it yet, I mean I could, or yeah, I could, but I'm not there yet, is that I want to get a 3-piece to my Woods Beast set. And the reason for that is that it'll summon a Goblin Hound for 10 seconds, and with the set will summon an additional one. So there's 2 more, if I actually get the boots. I have the pants in my stash right now. These are just a little bit stronger than my Woods Beast pants. Okay, so that's it for the equipment. So for my pet stuff, I don't have anything very good right now. I mean, let's be real. The stuff that I would love to have drop here, I'm not getting. There's a tag, something of the ancient one. I can show you here real quick. Or can I? Will it actually let me do it? Let me see. Okay, the Ancient One's tag. Pet occasionally summons a spirit of Bijou and Simon to fight in combat for 30 seconds. I want this, but I don't have it yet, obviously. And in order to help to make this build just that much stronger. So I am working on that, and I'm hoping to get it one day. We'll see. Since I'm here, let's go ahead and talk about what I have in my Legendarium. I have Infectious Shooter, which means that when I cast Scout's Bone, good lord, I can't talk. Scout's Bones, it's going to fire off poison missiles around it that do 50% weapon damage each. Well, a fully leveled up Tier 3 Scout's Bones looks like this. There's supposed to be 3 balls there. There we go. I guess one exploded on my ship. But you get the point. And that can look really pretty on a map full of bad guys. Okay? Alright. Moving on. I also have a Rifle of Leadarshap. Goblin Legion also summons 3 Ghostly Gunners. So, a Tier 3 bonus is going to give me Brutes, and I'm going to have the regular Legion army, so I get quite a bit. So there's my Brute, and then I got a couple, in this case, I got 3 shooters, and I have 2 grunts. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It just gets better and better, let me tell you. There's a lot of stuff. And by the way, Scout's Bones also, from what I understand, and this is what I've been hearing from the community, is that Scout's Bones counts as a minion and therefore benefits from minion plus damage. Same thing with Sacrifice to Goose. I can confirm nor deny I'm not that cool when it comes to gaming mechanics or testing said gaming mechanics, but I believe them, and I hope it's true. All right, carrying on. The last piece that I have in my in my Legendarium is the arc-powered shoulders with Arachnid Assault. Become charged up for 15 seconds, gaining 30% movement speed and dealing 100% weapon damage to nearby enemies on hit. So basically, that's going to. I don't know yet if I really want to keep this, and I've been fiddle farting around with it, or if I want to change it up for something else. I haven't yet decided on that, and I'm working on it because there's a lot of things in here that I would love to use, but so far this seems to be pretty beneficial, and so I'm sticking with it for the time being, and I'm happy with it. Okay. All right. For my pet skills, I am using Necro Pupper. Your pet summons 2 skeletons that deal 50% of my weapon damage, have 50% of my health, and have a lifespan of 12 seconds. So that's even more summoning stuff. More minions. I use Deadlier Strikes to give me more critical strike. Defensive Posture, which gives me a damage resistance for a few seconds, and as well as a heal. Okay? Moving on to my precision skills. I've got all of 2. My gear give me extra bonuses to my points here. So if you don't have that gear, which I'm sure by the time you get to level 60, you're going to have this gear. I mean, I had enough pieces of my Musketeer set to give me the set bonus for a vast majority of my leveling to 60, okay? I'm using Targeted Strikes. This will still be I'd say still a majority of the damage that you're going to be dealing is with Targeted Strikes. And so that's why I have it full-blown Tier 3 bonus. Every third Targeted Strike fires larger arrows that deal double damage, whereas my Tier 2 plus 30% ammo recharge rate, which is going to be very important because you're just going to be sitting there just leaning on your button to shoot. Okay? Tier 1 bonus, each successive hit in a volley now deals 25% more damage, so you're also getting more damage out of it, which is why I'm saying that your Targeted Strikes is still going to be probably and arguably the most damaging ability that you're going to have in this build. The pets are going to absolutely be doing damage. And the main benefit of that is that they're going to be putting out damage, taking aggro, keeping baddies off of you while you run out of fire, okay? So that's why I'm really having a blast with the pet build. With my reload, I did not get the Tier 3 bonus because, honestly, as I've been playing, people have been saying that I need to max this out, max it out, max it out. It's not necessary for this build. At no time did I ever have a problem not having reload up. I might have had some issues in the early levels, like pre-level 10, but from then on, it was always up when I needed it, and especially if you dump a couple points into it. The Tier 1 bonus, as you can see, reload reduces ammo cost by 25% for 6 seconds. Awesome. The Tier 2 bonus, 30% damage for precision skills. So I did want to make sure that I got that that bonus there, so that way it can directly impact the amount of damage that I'm putting out with Targeted Strikes. For the Bane, you'll notice that I have 1 point in 8-legged allies. That's it. And that was quite literally my level 60 point, because I didn't have anywhere else to put it that gave it any sort of meaningful impact. I could have put it somewhere else, but honestly, this is where I felt that I was going to have the most impact, because it gives me a 10% chance to summon 3 poisonous spiders that have a lifespan of 10 seconds. So guess what? That means more minions. But what I did want to make sure I took was absolutely maxing out Miasma, because of the bonuses to our pets, to the bonuses to my own damage, summoning more minions, and also reducing the amount of energy costs for Miasma, giving the bonuses to me that much longer, including the most important bonus here, that Tier 3 bonus. Minions deal 100% more damage while Miasma is active. That is, right there is like key, okay? Gotta have that. That is very important to have. Because anytime that you have it up, and you're going to be using Miasma quite a bit, you're going to want to have that up. I'd say anytime that you're fighting any type of monster that has a circle underneath its feet, because you want it to do damage. Duh. You want your minions to be buffed. Puppet Master is also going to be one of those that is very important to this build. You want to make sure you give your minions as much damage as possible, so this is going to grant them an extra 25% damage when you dump 5 points into it. For Energizer, the passive skill that you're gonna also max out, because it's gonna increase your relic energy charge rate, and the faster that charges, the more you can have Miasma up, which is then also going to fuel the recharge on Arachnid Assault. So as you're using as you're using Miasma, it will recharge your ability to use Arachnid Assault, and this is where all of those other minions that I talked about that was on the gear are going to be popping out and just doing a ton of extra damage. Okay? Arachnid Assault, because I have 3 points in there, it gives me 10% damage. My tier 1 bonus, Arachnid Assault summons the Spider Queen. So I definitely wanted to make sure I had at least that. It's arguable on whether or not I should max it out completely, get that tier 2 bonus to slows the enemies, but I did not feel it was all that important because of the fact that I decided to take Rizzy's Fate as opposed to Shasta for that reason. The tier 3 bonus would have been Arachnid Assault Spider projectiles now each explode into 6 more Spiderling projectiles, which apply a second poison. Again, it probably would have been pretty beneficial, but then I would have had to sacrifice something else, and I really didn't want to do that. So maybe as I progress through Faziers, it may determine that I need to do that, but for right now, it's not necessary. For my adventurer skills, I have the tier 3 bonus for Scout's Bones, just enough points in there that give me a couple extra points to play around with based off of what my gear's giving back to me. Tier 1 bonus, Scout's Bones now gives an extra stack of its precision skill buff. Sweet. And that precision skill buff is going to be my next 3 precision skills apply Scout's Poison. Okay. Tier 2 bonus, 10% critical hit chance for precision skills. So now I have 2 passives that are buffing my targeted strikes. Tier 3 bonus, Scout's Bones now fires 3 balls of rats. And as you saw how that looked. It was cool. Especially when they're all spouting out that green nastiness. The Goblin Legion is going to be the primary ability that you're going to be pretty much spamming. I mean, anytime that it is up, you're just going to want to spam it because as things die, you're going to want to make sure that you have all your pets up. And let's face it, you're not going to be keeping track of how many pets you have up. Okay, you're going to have so many up, you're not going to have any idea. So it's best to just say, it's up, spam it. And whatever's missing will get resummoned. And sometimes... I'm not even going to say that this is what it's supposed to do, but sometimes it feels like I'm actually redirecting them to actually attack what I'm pointing at. That might be in my head. Tier 1 bonus, 12 seconds increased lifespan for goblins, so they're going to last a little bit longer. Tier 2 bonus, 65% damage to my pet. Garbage. Don't necessarily need that. Pet is not doing damage. It's my minions that are doing damage. Ghost Visage, I like this ability. It's great to have, but it definitely has some issues, and this ability alone has caused me to die many times. Many times. Because sometimes it just doesn't go off. I'm just sitting there just spamming the button. It's just like, nope, I'm not ready to go. So, and then it's too late by the time it does. Increased critical hit chance after using Ghost Visage is 25%. So that means that after I use it, I'm going to have that much more critical hit chance, which is great. The tier 1 bonus is going to give me an extra charge, which is fantastic. Tier 2 bonus means that I'm going to become I have a chance to become intangible after using a potion for a few seconds, especially in those fight for your life type situations where you might be on the brink of death, use a potion, and then you're just unable to take any damage just for a small period of time. Just enough time to pop off another Ghost Visage, just enough time to run out of fire. Sacrifice to Goose is an active skill that is a lot like Blasting Cap in the sense that it applies a vulnerability to the bad guys. So when you use this, it will do damage on impact, and it will also do a substantial knockback, which again is going to be critical for the Sharpshooter because you want to make sure that you don't have anything in melee range on you, which is another great reason why having as many pets as you can is good, and so that way you can keep your distance. You don't get stuck in stuff. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen, but it's good to have this ability simply just to get things off of you. But then after you do use it, you're going to have your next 3 precision shots are going to shoot out 3 hawks in a cone that is going to deal additional damage. Now, what I have noticed is that it doesn't always apply. And I think that it is an issue with the ability right now because it does not always work. There are times where I can cast it and then I can immediately use get those extra 3 birds, and this is I'll show you what I'm talking about. Boom. Those 3 right there. It does a little extra damage. And it's nice to have, but it's not an absolute mandatory thing. My primary purpose for using it is to get things to get off of me and to do a little bit damage on impact. That is the primary reason why I use it. Oh, and of course to apply the debuff. Fully leveled, it would have given me 2 additional eagles when I shoot, and it is cool. It certainly looks cool, but I don't think it's really worth dumping that many more points into this. So the tier 2 bonus, negative 10% for Sharpshooter skill cooldowns, meaning that any of my cooldowns for the Sharpshooter are reduced by 10%. It's not just precision, not just adventure, all of them, which is definitely beneficial for reload, for Scout's Bones, and for Rizzy's Fate, which I'm going to talk about right now. Rizzy's Fate is just a fun ability. It is arguable on whether or not this is going to be more effective to use over Shasta. Honestly, I haven't tested it. I like Rizzy's Fate for 2 reasons. One, it applies a slow. And that tier 2 bonus means that I'm going to get plus damage to blinded, slowed, and stunned enemies. It will keep enemies off my butt. And the tier 3 bonus is another minion. And from what I understand, Rizzy's Fate does count as a minion. So that means all the extra damage percentage that you're giving them applies to Rizzy's Fate. And it in and of itself is going to do more damage. But also summoning another Netherrim caster is going to be that much more fun. Okay, that Netherrim caster, by the way, is a ranged minion, and I'll show you. Summons this guy. He's a caster, so whether they're standing in the garbage or not, it will target something and shoot it from afar. It doesn't last very long, but the cooldown is also very short. So I personally like this ability for that reason. The tier 1 bonus is 50% duration for Rizzy's Fate. So right now, it lasts as long as its cooldown. Dumping more points into it gives you extra damage as well. So that's it for the build. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to post it in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you think. Of course, I will go out with saying, well, I'm going to demonstrate this build, of course. But I do want to make sure it's understood that this is a guide. It's not an end-all, be-all. All right, so now it's time to actually demonstrate this build. So I'm going to go into Fazir's dungeon. Right now I have a really nasty global debuff where poison balls come out and explode. And I hate that one. I hate that and fire. And the worst one is something chases you all the time. So I'm going to get this done.
Welcome back,
and you'll see that I am only at level 20 right now. And the reason for that is because I die a lot, and most of it is just my own personal skill, so much more than the build itself, because I oftentimes do really dumb stuff, like teleport in the middle of bosses, or things like that. So just because I get so excited and then I push the button, I'm not supposed to do that. So let's see what we got. 20% chance at the, okay, double fame. I like double fame. Let's see, or I hate the flames more than that, so let's do this.
Wouldn't have been marked.
So let's do the bugs. Here we go. Get an idea for what I do for my, I don't want to say rotation, but kind of how I approach every battle is relatively the same. I mean, you just want to make sure that your pets are out. If you have miasma available, have that up. And I use my Arachnid Assault mostly for named bosses, so, or anything that has a circle underneath its feet. Those are the real reasons why I use that. So. Whoa. Beautiful. Poison balls I'm talking about. Really hard to see when you're in a poison map with a poison relic. Everything is poison on the ground, and you're supposed to be able to see those balls coming at you. Unfortunately, they do a lot of damage. Come at you. Go away. Anything can summon them. So even those little things on the ground, little magazines, still have them. I wouldn't be surprised. Good news is, my relic is ready to go. So let's fight. We're going to be popping that off. Get used to hearing it. Don't move. Oh, okay. I realized that was a mean mom. But you see that relic is just about ready to get popped in, so if you want to do that, what do you say? easy to whip on any matter where you are.
Can't use that skill.
Your health is low.
Yeah, I know. Poison balls before it's too late. Get it?
Your pack is too heavy.
Come on.
Your pack is full.
Oh, definitely. I need it. Exploded on me. I didn't see it. Okay, here comes the boss. Alright, so what I have is a full Arachnid Assault bar, so I can pop that off real quick, but not before, well, I'm not going to have Miasma to enhance my Spider Queen at first, so I'll have to, as soon as I can use it, I will. But I definitely want to put a slow, and I want to drop the goose on him too. Move! Oh, holy, see, that's what I'm talking about. Teleport, crying out loud.
Cast that here.
that's all, folks. See if we've got anything good out of it. Probably not. Nope.
Your inventory is full.
Inventory's full, though. More trash. Yeah, it's another. I don't know if you noticed, but that
You are overburdened.
slowdown anytime that I go into my menus. I'm not sure what that's all about either. So hopefully that's something that can get fixed here pretty soon. All right, so that's a demonstration of the build. Not only that, but there's some other demonstrations from in the beginning of this video. Of course, those were when I was sub level 60, but they were different levels of the Phasiers. And like I said, I'm enjoying this build. I definitely wish that the character itself was a little bit stronger because I feel like I'm constantly on that verge of death, and that's no fun because it doesn't really make me feel all that powerful. But at the same time, though, I don't think that that's an actual issue with the build. I think that's an issue with the just what Sharpshooter is. And that's fine because I mean they're not really meant to be tanks or anything like that. So I absolutely love playing this pet build. I call it the Bane Battalion, and I will tell you that if you're going to level this on ridiculous, then it might feel a little clunky. It might feel a little bit slow, especially in the first like 20 levels. But I will tell you that ridiculous does not feel good within the first 20 levels anyway. No matter what class you play, and so far from what I'm hearing, it doesn't even matter what build you're playing, just because the health pools are so deep, and the damage that you're putting out is so minimal in comparison. So the game really starts to shine when you get those passives just stacking and stacking and stacking. Gear starts coming in, and that way you can reap those rewards. When I make another character, it's going to have the benefit of already having legendaries in place. It's going to have a pretty full Legendarium, things like that will help that character progress, and it will feel better, sub 20. But yes, I mean, the Sharpshooter itself is a fun class. I would love to see how the Electrode performs. But if you like this video, I will say thank you for watching, and give it a thumbs up. And I definitely encourage that if you enjoy pet builds to give it a shot, and let me know what you think, okay? So that's it for today. I hope that I'll see you again. And until next time, Horsemen out.